Glass bonding isn't easy. Glass is heavy, it's rigid, and if it comes loose, it can present a very high risk of accidents. This has led to some applications requiring standards to comply. All these factors contribute to making glass bonding a difficult application. So in this video, we're going to explain why glass bonding isn't easy, what you must look out for in a glass bonding adhesive, and some nice to haves in a glass bonding adhesive too. Firstly, enough strength with enough flexibility and durability, and also high grab, but without being too thick. Strength combined with flexibility and durability is very important. After all, the adhesive must be strong enough to hold the glass in place. But it's also important to consider flexibility too. We've just done a video explaining the importance of flexibility with strength and durability. We've got a simple test piece where we hit the metal bracket to show that the flexible adhesive can absorb the impact, whereas the rigid will transfer that impact. So it's important that you get an adhesive with enough flexibility to be able to absorb any impact. Durability, of course, is important to make sure that the adhesive remains strong even when exposed to harsh conditions like UV or water exposure. When it comes to high grab, it's important that the adhesive has enough grab or green strength to be able to hold itself in place while it cures. But also, with a high grab adhesive, it can be too thick or too viscous, and a highly viscous product will be difficult to use. So in summary, you must have an adhesive with enough strength and flexibility and durability, but it needs to have enough grab without being too thick. So there are two other characteristics that will make your life a lot easier when it comes to a glass bonding adhesive. A long enough open time without being too slow curing, and also being fully primerless. When it comes to having a long open time, it's quite important to have enough time to position the glass in the right place before it starts to cure. But you also want to have an adhesive that cures fast enough for you to be able to put it into light use or handling strength in quick enough time to not slow down production. So you must make sure it has a long open time of around 30 minutes to 45 minutes and a quick enough curing time so that you can have a drive away time that isn't too long. When it comes to being fully primerless, a lot of glass bonding adhesives require the use of a primer on the glass to make sure that it has sufficient adhesion. Some adhesives, like hybrid polymer adhesives for example, don't require the use of a primer. They can stick onto the glass with a bit of surface preparation, making the production process significantly faster. So in summary, if you want a nice to use glass bonding adhesive, it needs to have a long enough open time for it to be used and also a quick enough curing time so that you can drive away quickly. And it also needs to be primerless so that you don't waste time preparing the surface before bonding. There are a couple other characteristics that might impact your adhesive selection when it comes to a glass bonding adhesive. UV resistance, temperature resistance, and toxicity are some of the characteristics that you will need to consider in a glass bonding adhesive. When it comes to selecting a glass bonding adhesive, there are three main options available: silicone-based products, polyurethane-based products, and hybrid polymer-based products. Silicone will often be very flexible, but often doesn't have enough strength. Polyurethane-based products will often be very high strength, but often don't have enough UV resistance or temperature resistance, and they can have very toxic chemicals in the base chemistry. Hybrid polymers are a nice combination of both. They have enough strength, they have enough flexibility, and they aren't toxic. So it's important to consider these things when you're selecting a glass bonding adhesive. If you're interested in our hybrid polymer range of glass bonding adhesives, make sure to check out our glass bonding review of Formoa 055 on our website, or you can browse our other adhesive selections on forgeway.com. Thank you for watching.